Christ is risen, and welcome to St. Cyril Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church in downtown Madison, Wisconsin. I'm Father Gregory, the pastor. It is Sunday, May 4th, the Sunday of the Myrrh-Bearing women. Last night at Vespers, we heard this in, I think it was the sixth Stichiria, the sixth verse at Vespers. Why do you seek with tears the life who gives life to the human race? Christ our God has risen from the dead as Almighty, granting us incorruption, life, enlightenment, and great mercy. What's interesting about that hymn is that the grant of life is given not to the Christians, not to the church, but in fact to the whole human race. Every life is given to everyone. Mercy is granted to everyone. It's the task of the church to be a witness to mercy. It's the task of the Christians, the vocation and great honor of the Christian, to be a witness to the presence of God's mercy, grace, and forgiveness in human life and in the life of the people that we meet every day and to the person that I'm talking to. That's my vocation. Whatever else is added on to that, whatever else grows out of that, my fundamental vocation is to be a witness to God's forgiveness and mercy. This is important because so often what we fall into is the idea that somehow this forgiveness, this mercy that comes to God, to the whole human race, is the unique possession of the Christian or the unique possession of the church, as if we are the only ones who have been given mercy, as if we are the only ones who've been forgiven, as if we are the only ones who have been the recipient of God's great and superabundant grace. When I think like that, I begin to see myself as a gatekeeper for grace. I begin to see myself as responsible for reminding people that somehow they are not the recipients of God's grace, His forgiveness, His mercy. When I do that, I then try to fence in or constrain God's grace. But in doing that, I not only commit an injustice against against other people, I also commit an injustice against myself, because I make my life small and crabbed. I make my life very superficial when I try and point out to people that they're somehow separated from the grace of God, or rather that the grace of God is absent in their life. The more I become concerned with pointing out how grace is absent, the more my heart becomes brittle and I become simply unhappy and fearful. On Great and Holy Pascha, the gospel that we hear at Matins is the second resurrection gospel, where, as we'll hear again today, the myrrh-bearing women are told, do not be afraid. I am afraid so often because I am indifferent or hostile to the presence of God's grace, mercy, and forgiveness in the lives of the people I meet every single day. That's it. I'm afraid of you because I don't see you as the recipient of God's forgiveness. I don't see you as the recipient of God's grace and mercy and kindness. This is why it is so important, not only for the sake of my neighbor, not only for the sake of the life of the church, but also for my own sake, that I be always eager to see the work of grace in the life of the people that I meet, even if that grace is not bringing them at that point to believe in the gospel. I have to honor the grace that I see in their lives. When I do that, then every person, every event, every encounter, everything becomes for me a witness of divine grace and mercy and forgiveness. Living then in a world infused, saturated with forgiveness and mercy and grace, how can I be afraid? How can I flee from my own responsibility when I know that I am surrounded on all sides by the grace of the God who not only created me, but who loves me and forgives me and is eager to draw me closer to himself in everything that I encounter. My brothers and sisters in Christ, we who are Orthodox Christians have been given the great privilege and responsibility of being eager to point out the mercy of God in the world today, in the lives of the people that we meet, whatever their circumstances. Adam Smith, of whom I am extraordinarily fond, says we do not have respect for those people who do not know how to act in their own self-interest. Let me suggest to you that it is in your self-interest, it is in your best self-interest to be eager to see the work of grace in the lives of the people that you meet, in the circumstances in which you find yourself. I know that's true for me, and I believe absolutely that it's true for you. What we need to do is be always eager to bear witness to the mercy of God, not simply in our life, but in the lives of the people that we meet. All right, well, it is getting to a little after 8 o'clock here in Mad City, and I've got to get ready for liturgy. If you're here in the Madison area, why not come to St. Cyril Methodius Ukrainian Orthodox Church at 1020 Regent Street? And hopefully together we can be a witness to God's great mercy, love, and forgiveness in human affairs. If you're not in the Madison area, maybe try to find an Orthodox church in your area and attend liturgy. Especially if you're Orthodox, but also if you're not Orthodox, go see, try to catch a little bit of the glimpse of God's grace and mercy. All right. Well, whatever you do this today, God bless you, and Christ is risen, and I look forward to talking to you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.